There was definitely several collisions that happened all at once back in 2019, but diamonds get formed under pressure, and the human brain can do miraculous things if you're put up against a wall. Either you buckle under pressure or you defeat whatever's in front of you. This is how we built EWA, giving people advice that doesn't earn us a commission. It ended up being a huge catalyst, and that's what we did. I had the help of a lot of really important people to help me do that. That's how EWA was started. I started as a financial advisor, actually an intern in 2009. I was in between my junior and senior year at Geneva College, and I had this investment professor that I really respected, and he's like, "Oh, I got you this internship," and I had no idea he sent me to go sell life insurance. The early days, it was just high activity. I was probably working upwards of like 80 to 100-hour weeks. Didn't have like team members yet to support, so I was doing everything. And then year two, Nick Stonecipher really helped out. So we started calling on OB-GYNs here in Pittsburgh and got a bunch of clients. Got referrals, started doing talks, got the master list of like all the residents in some of the major hospitals, and then kind of just started making it rain from there. Helping them with school loans was the primary thing, and then also getting them set up with disability, term life insurance, that kind of thing. And then a lot of those clients stuck with us after residency. And so basically what it evolved is I just figured out what kept clients up at night, like what was their financial stress, and we would go solve that.
It was suggested to me that I start working with Matt Balke, who was also at this previous broker-dealer for a period of time. So we started working together on some joint clients, and almost immediately I could see a significant difference in Matt's approach to a client engagement that I had been used to seeing from other advisors in the 20, 25 years I'd been doing it. The level of detail he brought to a client engagement, the trust that he was able to establish with clients based on that work was just something I had never seen. It was really exceptional.
We always knew we wanted to be a private company. The two that were with me long-term before that made that transition, we had Nick Stonecipher and Chris Bazick.
The beginning of EWA was honestly kind of chaotic. There was a lot of fun in there, but there was a lot of just great unknowns with how starting the business would pan out. So after spending roughly 8 to 9 years at our prior broker-dealer, when you get to the point where you want to break free and start your own business, you're certainly hoping that the trust and the relationships that you built with the clients, will shine through. But ultimately for the planning, it was the right move. It was something we were ready for and something we knew needed to happen. I'll never forget the first few weeks before the office space was even usable. Chris and I sat in the basement of Matt's house, and we sat at his little bar area, and we were just tasked with, let's start to open up new accounts and onboard new clients as Matt talked to the clients and got the green light. So we just kind of sat at the bar and we blasted chain smokers for 10 to 12 hours each day, repapered all these accounts and started bringing over client assets. And it was just a lot of fun, really hectic. Each day you have somebody sign, you'd get a transfer notification, new assets would hit. The team was celebrating from different floors of the house, as we were starting to become a new business.
We're grateful for everybody that came with us and excited to continue to offer a good service, hopefully, for them. The early onset of the transition, it was just moving the accounts from the old firm to the new firm, which was process in and of itself. But the services that we're offering, I think, still the same from day one, comprehensive planning and hopefully trying to simplify their life and make sure they feel like their finances are supporting their lifestyle. Matt set them. So he started his early days in the medical market, working with a lot of residents and fellows in medicine. So people that were still in training. And as a lot of those people grew into their own careers, we were lucky enough to work closely with them and grow alongside them and then get referred to a lot of people like them. So a lot of other medical professionals, I think, is how we organically grew to start. And then it's evolved into really anybody that fits the need for our services.
We had very good service for our clients, very good relationship with our clients. So 99.9% of the clients we wanted to come ended up coming. And I think all of the assets had transferred within 3 weeks of us leaving. And so the fact that they decided to go with me, I think it just speaks to how big of a bond and loyalty factor and just overall trust we had in the process. I think the truth always comes out, right? And so, clients ultimately knew that we had their best interests in mind. They followed us in 2 seconds. And they were like, "Matt, you should have done this. Nick, Chris, you should have done this earlier. Like, we love this." Because they could just feel it right away with what we were doing and able to just speak more freely and recommend more freely and staying mentally strong and knowing that we were doing this to serve our clients for life and that we were a team, we trusted each other. That was the scrappiness turned from quantity to quality during the transition. No proprietary products. It was all just a transparent fee. Everything just felt better because it was naturally alignment between us and the clients. We'd already branded EWA as like Equilibrium Wealth Advisors as doing business as well under that umbrella. And then we transitioned that out and trademarked it after. Fast forward, so kind of timeline, June 2020, we break out. We become a fee-only RA. So first we drop our brokerage license, which is scary in itself. So now it's just full transparent. We don't charge commissions, no fee to come in, no fee to come out, no fees. We cover all transaction fees, just super transparent, fee-only firm. We wrap everything in there, financial planning, wealth management, etc. 120 million, June of 2020. We're now at 675. So that's over 5x growth rate in 5 years. We developed a plan, like a culture of extreme ownership. I think of the prior broker dealer, team members kind of got overlooked pretty quickly because it was just like the advisor that was getting elevated, like on stage giving talks. It was like, you know what, we're a team. Everyone should be rewarded, recognized, part of this culture. I think that was super important because the best financial planners aren't the best salespeople. So we're developing a culture where it's financial planning first, we educate, we take stress off of clients. We eliminate decision fatigue from financial decisions. We try to just handle everything we can. So we operate as like the CFO for our clients. The differential in our culture is we're not going to meet with our clients. Because I think a lot of advisors like try to meet every couple months to try to sell them something. We're there anytime if you have questions, but we want to eliminate as many meetings as possible because ultimately your only non-renewable resource is your time. And that's what we're saving you is your time and stress. So you can get your life back and make sure your money's working for you. You're not living a life dependent on what your money does or doesn't do. So having in general, a young team allows us to really shape that.
I think the average age of a financial advisor is someone in their 60s. So I think a lot of people are surprised at the age of our group. A lot of people in their mid to late 30s and 20s. I myself am 29. I think that's actually a strength. We talk with clients that are coming from different firms and I get a little bit of a sense of the type of planning and work that maybe they're used to. And a lot of it is discussions about investment management, money management, fund selection, how certain asset classes are performing. That's one of the main pillars of what we do. But a lot of times we think that that's something that every advisor should be doing for their clients. And so we want to focus our time at EWA on what is most important to you, whether that's goal planning around something as simple as getting a budget together, working through a cash flow statement, focusing on things that are most important to you. We're not just doing investment management or money management. And, a lot of clients think that's important, but they don't want to necessarily spend an hour every quarter talking about how the international markets are doing or how mid and small cap are performing. They're thinking about how am I on track to withhold the right amount for taxes coming up next year? Are there certain deductions or credits I'm not aware of, or maybe I should be taking advantage of? Is my estate planning in order? Do I have the right amount of insurance? All these questions that aren't necessarily answered by like an account statement. Those are things that we really take a lot of pride in helping our clients make sure that are taken care of.
It's kind of been like a rocket ship to look back about 5 years and think of where we started and where we are now is like, it is pretty crazy to even fathom the growth that we've seen. So the team's grown tremendously. The business has grown, client base has grown. The services that we offer have grown tremendously. There was specialization as far as clients, it was always primarily physicians, business owners, corporate leaders, retirees, but there's been an evolution of the type of client and net worth size and complexity that we've worked with. But early on, we were working with young physicians that were just starting out, and now we're in a position where we still have those types of clients, but it's more so, the more complex, the better. We were seeing people with 20, 50, $100 million, all multiple businesses, multiple entities that they own, assets all over the place. I get chills just like looking back at 5 years of what we've done because it's just been hours and hours of work. We have a lot of really talented people on our team. We always want to offer that white glove service, little things as like we'll drive to a client's house and pick up a piece of paper if we have to, even though it could be like scanned and sent in the mail. If that's what the client wants and it makes their lives easier, we're going to do it.
There aren't many firms in our area that are able to deliver the type of financial service financial consultation, tax prep, fiduciary, trustee services. There just aren't many. And the few that are do not do it at the level that we do here. The client that we're in front of, you could be a business owner and everywhere in between. The ability to deliver the same high level service to every client is really, to me, the most remarkable thing about EWA and really what sets us apart.
Operations is that engine behind what we do. It allows us to do things that other wealth management firms don't even think of doing, and they would never attempt. But not only have we done it, but we keep moving forward and look at what's the next step after that.
I'm fortunate to see just great people, I think. And with financial planning, you reach into every area of life, whether it's having a kid and growing your family or taking a new job, buying a house. Like all of those are big decisions that you remember. So being there alongside them and helping guide important decisions, I think is really rewarding.
We're going to take this to, what do clients need? How do we solve that? How do we provide that for a fair fee and provide a value well above the fee at all times? How do we work in a way that clients can work with us without a contract? They can leave us anytime if they don't feel the fee is worth the value. And ultimately, alignment is going to be the most important word, I think, for clients that stay with us for life. Fast forward a couple of years, and a dear friend of our firm, Tyler, who's referred to a lot of our tax clients, we're in talks. Hey, let's bring taxes in-house.
Matt and I clicked as things moved forward. We stayed in contact. We were referring clients here and there, bouncing ideas off of each other, doing the daily grind that young professionals do. As I started to work closer with EWA, we realized how much our respective sectors intertwined with each other. In advisory meetings, clients were asking about taxes. In tax meetings, clients were asking about ways to reduce their taxes with retirement savings, personal budgeting tools, the list goes on. There was a lot of wasted time, not only for us as advisors, but also for the clients, because we had to gather information from so many places. And I wasn't just seeing this with EWA, I was experiencing it with other financial advisors I had worked with as well. So by the early 2020s, we had this idea of offering both services at one place. Why not simplify things for clients and have them work with one firm instead of multiple ones? After all, in most cases, taxes can be close to 40% of earnings. They're most people's biggest expense in life, so it doesn't make sense to ignore them as part of people's financial plan. After a few years of back and forth and making sure it was the right time for both of us, we decided in October of 2024 that it was finally time to make the move and launch EWA Tax. With the new service line offered, clients are now able to come to one place for those really important financial services: wealth advisory, retirement planning, tax planning and budgeting, tax return preparation. And so after only 1 year, it's easy to see the value clients get to experience with it. Questions get answered quicker, fewer parties are involved, so there's less back and forth. Clients trust that they're planning for the future appropriately while also managing their taxes and staying compliant with their annual filings. And there's also less administrative time because we have access to a lot of the tax forms they need. Internally, we share a lot of background information that plays a role in how tax returns are prepared. So this not only reduces tax liabilities, but results in less error. We've reviewed a lot of prior year tax returns, and we've noticed reporting errors that were clearly the result of the tax preparer and the financial planner not communicating. We've eliminated that factor.
So now 2024, taxes are fully in-house. The real long-term vision is we want to provide a one-stop shop for our clients. One of the biggest stresses I've seen with clients is that they have to go to a CPA, they have to go to an estate planning attorney, they have to go to an insurance person, then they have to go to their financial advisor. Sometimes they have 2 or 3 financial advisors. Sometimes they're doing 10 or 20 meetings a year. They're getting differing opinions, and their stress levels are probably higher than they were before they had this meeting. For our clients, it's a one-stop shop. The number one thing is the time savings for them is astronomical. We're getting a full week or 2 weeks back on a client's calendar that they can spend on their family, they can spend on vacation, etc. And then the fee compression that's able to occur when you bring everything in one house, because from a tax perspective, we have all the information, all the details of what have happened. Just executing that without as little involvement from our clients as possible is just a huge value proposition. So we've actually focused intentionally on quality over growth these first 5 years. So the future is, we have a couple last things to do, like estate planning. We're going to try to bring that in-house by finding a good estate planner. And then from there, just continue to adapt and grow our value proposition. We want to continue to serve what we believe is an underserved population. You have the most advisors at kind of middle affluent, and then you have the multifamily offices. We're providing the multifamily offices, but for that $2 to $5 million range, that $10 to $20 million range, and just providing all of these services, I would say at record low fee rates when you look at our rates compared to what we're doing, bringing it all in-house for people. So we want to take that national. So right now we do work in 40 states, but we want to expand our physical blueprint because we believe in face-to-face interaction in different strategic cities. And ultimately, we want to be able to serve 10,000 clients that are in our wheelhouse, net worth-wise, high achievers, people that want stress removed, time added back on their plate, and that's going to pass on for generations. And ultimately, the more they can impact their employees or people that are under them, which is going to have a rippling effect if we remove what study shows the number one stress in America, which is financial stress. Ultimately, we want to make decisions that are in the best interest of three things. So one is EWA's clients, two is EWA, the company, because we can only serve our clients if we exist long term. And then three is the team members of EWA. And so every decision we make, we want to make sure is taking into consideration and respecting those three areas. If the decision hits the benefit of all three of those, we know it's a good decision. And then also for our clients, we're constantly calibrating the value proposition, adding taxes. We just are doing added fiduciary custody. So we can play a trustee role for clients that are passing money into generation. So if you look at the whole industry, what do clients struggle with? It's money transfers from generation being lost. It's advisors only being able to, charge a fee or manage on just one account, not the whole picture. We've solved that. We've solved the generational by becoming a trustee and having a generational firm that's going to last employee owned for generations to come. And just the time wasted with professionals disagreeing on recommendations, offering everything in one house, one solution. We're going to eliminate that decision fatigue and just make the client experience elevated to a level they've never experienced before.
We've unlocked a couple new services here, and I think we're going to continue to do so, whether that's taxes, risk management, custody, right? A couple different offerings. And then, moving forward, whether that's estate planning or something else, it's going to be a lot of fun.
I think we have such a great opportunity to be able to help people on an individual level, and finances can be a huge stressor. So taking that off of someone's shoulders and then letting them be the best that they could be, whether it's medicine, the business they're in, we can kind of help a lot of people that way. I think just continuing to scale that effect and just hopefully be able to do some good out there.
I would say from an EWA perspective, what to expect is kind of like those early days. We'll never be stagnant. Like everything's just continuously moving. We're always taking a look at new tech, new software, new processes, and we're continuously growing the team. So each day is, a new chapter in this story.
As the firm continues to grow, I think the all-in-one package will be a great selling point for current and future clients. We're building a team of dedicated professionals who specialize in tax for the particular clients we serve. And I think this is a really unique experience we're offering, and look forward to future growth of the firm.
There's not anything we can't handle in-house. The world gets a little quicker and a little more complex and a little more complicated. The ability to go to one firm for all of your needs, I believe, will make what is a somewhat complicated subject a lot easier for our clients.
It kind of goes back to our core principles, making sure that we're taking care of clients the right way and ultimately following the principles that really have created EWA as a whole. We want to make sure that as we grow and as we expand, we want to keep the values that start EWA first and foremost, and try to protect our culture. And so making sure that even if we're a team of 50 to 100 people, we're as close as we are as a team of 5 to 10 people. I think that's really important as we want to continue growing.
We're really looking forward to what the future holds. We have very big goals. We appreciate you committing to EWA and the purpose and the mission that we serve for our clients so well here. And we want to make sure, again, that we're giving our clients the best experience. So thank you for being here, and look forward to what the future holds.